A very, very good evening to all of you, all over the world. My name is Tarun Anand, and I'll be your moderator today for this interesting topic, how learning from CEOs has become the new MBA model, right? We're going to deliberate on that. Let me start by introducing myself. I'm the founder and chairman of Universal Business School. I started my career with my MBA at SP Jain Institute of Management and Research, Mumbai. And when I finished my MBA, I remember my dean putting up a hand, out of our entire bunch of 120 students, which one of you will be a CEO? And I was one of those, cocky young guys. I put up my hand, said, I'll be a CEO. In 10 years' time, Tarun, I said, yes, I'll take up the challenge. Guess what? 10 years passed and I failed. I did not become a CEO of an Indian company in 10 years' time, but I became the CEO of a global company in 12 years' time. I hope Chalega, Kansi, Sanat. I was running a multi-billion-dollar business spread over 136 countries, $2 billion. That's really around 15,000 crores. And I was all of just 32 years of age. It was mind-blowing, right? At 32 years, you have a portfolio where you're managing 14,000 employees in 136 countries. It couldn't have got better. It got even better. In 2 years from that, I was promoted to the board of a $40 billion corporation. Suddenly, I'm walking into the innovation and venture board of Thomson Reuters. And I go there and there are all these goras sitting around me. And I'm wondering, why am I going into this room? And they're looking at me, wondering why I'm here. It was a surreal experience. And then at 35 years, promoted as the youngest chairman and managing director of Thomson Reuters South Asia. So I've seen business and done business in all 5 continents, had the pleasure of working out of London for several years, worked in New York, worked in Wall Street, had that crazy Wolf of Wall Street experience, not all of it, some of it. If some of you have seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And then I moved to Hong Kong, where I was CEO for Asia Pacific, came back to Bombay. But it didn't start all of this, right? It doesn't start like this. I started my career, friends, as a door-to-door salesperson. You know what's a door-to-door salesperson? Someone knocks on your door. What do you typically do? You go in, in the morning, if someone comes, a salesman comes knocking on your door, what would you do? Sanat, Kansi.
We would just literally shoo them off.
Slam the door hard, right? So I would ring the bell, say, ding dong, good morning, and the door would get slammed on my face. And I used to be very upset. What do I do with this situation? And this is Bombay. I was working for HSBC. I've also worked for Standard Chartered. If you attack the Bombay market in a door-to-door selling, you need to hit them at 6 in the morning because it's a professional city. Both husband and wife have gone to work. No point ringing the bell at 10 in the morning. Nobody's there, right? So at 6 in the morning, agar main aapki ghanti bajao, how happy would your mother be? Not too happy, right? So she's slamming the door. So door after door would get slammed on my face. It was very upsetting, frustrating. I would even get upset if I don't sell, I might get fired. What do? I came up with an idea. At very few seconds, I'm going to tell you that idea if you're interested in knowing. Sanat, you want to know? Chansi?
Definitely, sir.
Great. So I said, I need time, right? This lady on the door, the mother, she's slamming the door at 6 in the morning. How do I find a way? So I when I would say, ding dong, good morning, ma'am, I'm from HSBC, door opens. I know the door is going to slam. I put my leg inside the door. Sometimes the door would hit me slightly. Sometimes door say, and I go falling on the floor and say, I think I've hurt myself. Now, obviously, the mother is feeling a little guilty. So I'm saying, ma'am, I'm just about to go, give me a painkiller. She would come with a painkiller, and I would say, pani ka glass, painkiller, pani ka glass, just about to have the pani. And I'm like, ma'am, aaj maine breakfast nahi khaya. Now, I'm not asking for a double cheese omelette with French fries and toast, right? So I'm thinking, just ma'am, a cup chai. Now, all mothers know ki khali pet pe painkiller nahi karte. Now, she's committed to a kind act just to follow through. So she goes in, makes chai, 5-7 minute chai banne mein lagte the, 5-7 minute chai peene mein lagte the. Sale done. I got 15 minutes. Pehle to 2 seconds nahi mil raha tha. In fact, many buildings had a board saying dogs and salesmen aren't allowed. So how can you get it? So the first lesson I wanted to start, and then I'll kick it off with our power pack panel. the first lesson I'd like to you to learn is of a CEO is resilience, the power to bounce back, right? There are many doors that are going to hit on your face. It's going to be the door of a business school. It might be a door of a job interview. It might be a door of a global job, whatever. At the end of the day, remember, there's a way in. So give it your best, or there's always another door. Remember that there's always another door. So with that, I just like to set us up that when we started Universal Business School, we got these 60 CEOs. The first question we asked ourselves, who is qualified to teach our MBA students? Who is qualified, right? If you want to learn cricket, wouldn't you, if you got a chance to get Sachin Tendulkar or Virat Kohli to teach you, wouldn't that be awesome? Because you have the guys who played the game in every pitch on the planet Earth, with the most cunning spinners and the fastest bowlers. They're the guys who are going to teach you, as opposed to a Harsha Bhogle. He speaks very well. He's never played first-class cricket. My answer is what? It's going to be Sachin or Virat, right? You want to play and learn from the practitioners. In fact, there's a saying that if he is not a practitioner, he's a fraud. How can a fraud teach you, right? So we believe that from the DNA of us. And the final point I'd like to make here is, before I hand it and we get the introductions, the mantra we follow, okay, for any venture, you guys are going to become tomorrow business leaders, you guys are going to become entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs. Be the customer to your product and service. And I'm happy to share that I have recruited from Columbia Business School, Cornell, Stern, Stanford, the IIMs, and my alma mater, SPJMR. So we know what we're talking about, because as CEOs, we've actually been on the field and recruited students from the best institutes across the country. So now let me bring in Sanat and Chansi. Chansi, why don't you start and introduce yourself?
Okay, hello everybody. So I come from a small city, Kota, Rajasthan, which is known to be an education hub. And when I came here, I was always asked this question, why have you come this far? Why UBS for BBA? You've been brought up in Kota. Why did you not take science, or didn't go for engineering, stuff like that? Well, I'm fortunate that I took the decision of coming here. Okay, so I completed my graduation from Universal Business School in affiliation with Cardiff Metropolitan University. And now I'm pursuing my master's from the same university here in finance. I have been the former CEO of Excolon Private Limited. That's a student-led enterprise in our college. And I'm currently associated with Enactus. That's an international experiential learning platform, that's given to, that operates in various countries. I'm currently associated with that, and I also head that committee at my college.
Thank you, Chansi. Sanat?
Sure, sir. First of all, it was truly inspiring to hear you out in your introduction, and that gives me a lot of motivation to become a leader for tomorrow. To introduce myself, you know it already. My name is Sanat Puri. I hail from the city of Temples, that is in Bhubaneswar, Odisha, and I completed my bachelor's of business administration with specialization in human resource from Birla Global University, Bhubaneswar. I have a habit of cooking. I love taking care of animals. I had a pet of my own, and that's how I used to spend my leisure time. When it comes to leadership activities during my BBA times, I have been into a lot of model UN conferences that has truly helped me to become a great public speaker. It has given me opportunities to travel, which is another hobby of mine. It has helped me to travel countries like Bangladesh, Indonesia, and also in conference across the country, collaborate with some of the premier institutes of the nation. For example, Christ Bangalore itself. I also look forward to pursue more learnings through great leaders, and that's the reason why I'm definitely here at UBS Mumbai. I get to learn from the people who have been already there in the corporates, and I have definitely love to have them as the mentors. Currently, I'm serving as the president of UBS Innovation Club, which looks forward to serve at the best of its capacity with the help of innovation and brainstorming.
Awesome. So we have Bhubaneswar and Kota, Rajasthan in the house. Fantastic. So, we live in a world of accelerating change. welcome to the age of upheaval, right? It's an exciting world. It's might be scary for a few, but I think for you guys, it's an exciting world because you can build organizations that are big and fast, disciplined yet empowering, efficient yet entrepreneurial, and bold yet prudent. So this is what the capabilities that CEOs at UBS build in our students who will be future CEOs. So let me bring in Sanat to give us your view of why did you think of UBS as a business school that you would like to study?
Definitely, sir. So when I completed my bachelor's of business administration 2 years back, I had a gap for a year, and I was working with my father in his own family business, and I could try out everything in practical, so that I am ensuring myself that when I go for my master's program, I know which specialization I have to choose. And there was the dilemma. I had to choose either human resource because I'm good at it. At the same point of time, I'm good at marketing and which provide me dual specialization. And that's when the concept and the institute like Universal Business School came into the picture. I checked out with the other institutes as well, but this some and seemed to be a best fit for me. And the reason for excelling for two specialization in future is definitely gonna give me a competitive edge because I aspire to be a leader. I am expected to be smart, knowledgeable, and versatile at the same point of time. So that people look up to me and they say that yes, that's a leader. That's how we need to be, and we should be knowledgeable about all the fields because when we are leading, we are expected to be smart at all the fields. So when I went through the institute page itself, I also found out that it doesn't just give me two specialization, but also dual degree, one from this institute and one from any of the foreign collaborated institutes. And that's where my eye for Cardiff Metropolitan University took into the picture. So I'm not just learning about the Indian management system, but also management system across borders. I'm getting to learn how the business management across nations also take place. And that would help me out if in future I look forward to build up my career abroad.
Great. Thanks for that. I don't know whether...
And that's and I was very sure that Universal Business School team my master's in business administration.
Great. Sanat, your needs to be check your connection, but just to tell everybody, Cardiff Met University in 2021 picked Oxford and Cambridge to be the University of the Year in the UK. So it's the #1 awarded university ahead of Oxford and Cambridge, which we are proud to be representing. Jansi, your journey to UBS, MBA.
Okay. So it was in the year 2018, actually, when I was looking for a B school. I had just graduated from my high school. And I have always wanted to, go abroad for my higher education. But, coming from an Indian overprotective family, I wasn't allowed to, just leave the country as soon as I was out of my school. They were concerned and, maybe you can go for your master's and not for your BBA. But I've always been looking for, something new, new that we have. And that is when I came across UBS, where they were providing us, they are providing us with the international curriculum, international degree. And, they're not just providing us with the certificate with that, foreign university. They're actually making us study the curriculum that they have there. We are actually following the whole model, that, the experiential model, everything we are actually practicing here. So, that is something that caught my eye. I was like, no, this is the place where I want to be. That is when I was like, I remember my father was like, it's too far. Do not go. It's too far. You're very fresh. And I remember, I was like, please let me do this, please. And then when he came to drop me off, he was like, it's far. Could you please, come back with us? And I was like, no, let me stay. And I will tell you if I don't want to be here. And that day and today, it's been almost 4 years now that I am in UBS. I decided to pursue my master's as well from here. Getting all that you want at, maybe just half the price that you're paying going there. So when you can experience here, I think that's the best thing one institute can provide us.
Thank you. We are delighted to have both of you. Uh, Going back to the topic of CEOs, Sanat, over to you. Would love to hear your view of a CEO-led school or a CEO impacting your life.
Definitely, sir. As I heard about you, this may sound like a flattery, but I do look up to you, sir. And it's a habit of me that I do a lot of background research before making any important decision of my life. And opting for MBA is definitely one of them. So before I confirmed UBS as an institution to pursue my MBA, I read articles about you, how you were as a CEO, your past interactions, your TEDx speeches, and what all to know about the chairman. So as a CEO, you know what it takes to become a leader, what are learnings are essential to become a CEO. And in that way, you envision and design this very B school. You hired module leaders who themselves have a great corporate experience, and they have definitely helped really well in shaping the learners right now to be the leaders of tomorrow. And it's quite evident with the way of pedagogy and andragogy UBS follows. So that's the reason why I thought that a CEO-led school that itself is UBS is something I want to be a part of, because I myself aspire to be a CEO of tomorrow.
Awesome. Chansey, your views on the
Well,
topic.
I definitely agree with Sanat what he spoke about you. I think, all of us here look up to you, when we are thinking of entering into the corporate world. Well, for me, whenever I was asked, what do you want to be? I have always told them I want to be a leader. I want to lead my own company. I want, get to that position. And since my childhood, I have been working for that, getting into leadership positions, trying to do as much as I could from my school days. So when I came here, with this perspective, to be a leader, you need to learn from a leader. And that is what UBS has been providing. We've had amazing faculty. The college is endorsed by CEOs, and that is something, because this person knows what another CEO is looking for to fit in. The next person he chooses for his position, he knows what he's looking for. And I think the faculty here, they imbibe us with all of those things. So if you want to be there, I think the best way is to learn from them. They'll give you the best piece of advices, they'll give you the best framework. And I'm sure, coming here, we've been put in the safest hands if you want to go there. So,
Great. So, I'm going to start with you, Chansey. This is about your journey to get here. Now you've been at UBS. You've been here for a longer time. Sanat's been there for a year or so, less than a year. Tell us, what have you done, in the opportunities that have been provided, which made you feel like you can be CEO, and you've been one. So would love to hear your experience.
yes, I have been one. So when UBS says we make CEOs, UBS is not kidding. They will give you an opportunity to be a CEO. I was given this opportunity last year. I was one of the youngest CEOs that Excolon Private Limited saw. Also, the longest running CEO, because I was the tenure is usually 3 to 5 months. I was there for almost a year, because that was, we did not have the change. So during that time, I feel all of the committees that we have in our colleges, they are responsible. And us being in leadership positions, we are responsible to ensure that we are consistently working towards a constructive cause. And being in leadership positions, that is what we want. If I am leading, I was leading a team of approximately 100 people. And at an age of 19, I think that was a really big thing. I was a second year student, BBA second year student, BBA third year student, and I was actually dealing with people who had actual work experience. And I was on cloud nine. I mean, like, wow, I am getting to, get things done from them. At the same time, it's not just that. You also learn from them. All of us, we learned from each other. We worked collaboratively. Something, of course, I may not know, the other person would know. But there's always there have been conflicts. Everybody has their own opinions. But being in that position, I was in charge of decision making, and I had to do it. If I'm supposed to fire a person here, but he's my friend, I have to sit with him in the canteen. So that is something. Very different perspective, very different approach, that is actually I will have to apply when I go out in the corporate world. So this is what UBS has provided me with a different approach, a different perspective to how you look at things. And well, just gonna take another minute. So I was simultaneously heading another committee, that's Enactus. Enactus is one of the international platforms, experiential learning platforms that that are provided to students across countries. And because I was the CEO, I had experience, of running through things. I could actually perform well, and I was the second president on campus for that committee, where we actually bring in actual socially responsible and sustainable business models on field, and we've successfully been running 3 projects for a year now. So, I think UBS has given me plenty of opportunities that I can, never forget. So,
Fantastic. Love the fact that you fire someone and then go for a cup of chai. But the one interesting point I'd love to add, and I'm proud of your achievements and the team's achievement, is you took the projects in Enactus to the Global World Cup, and to the fact that we were, you got UBS projects in the top 20 PCC schools in the world in the Global Business School Network. So congratulations on that.
thank you.
Sanat, your leadership experience at UBS.
I would love to share that, sir, because it's just been 7 months to me in this campus, and I'm already enough the entire management. And the first like to begin about the first thing that happened to me for leadership position. That was when I got appointed as the class representative for the entire Cardiff MBA cohort. And it was the first time we experienced that the Cardiff cohort was of 156 learners. That included the IM batch, that included the BM batch, and it also included the executive MBA. So I'm not just handling cohort learners of my same age group, but there are some people who are elder to me. There are some people who are younger than me. So I have a mixed cohort. And with a cohort of 156 people, there would be also opinions which would be mixed. There would be some people who would be for certain things. There would be people who would be against certain things. And there were matters in the past that had to be covered up by us as the class representatives and have to be shared with the management. And that was where our role came into the picture. So it was a lot of fun. I had to ensure that I'm not just a class representative, but also a learner. I had to divide my time so well that I could handle the cohort and handle myself individually when I sit in the classroom as a learner. So that was incredible journey for me. I had the best 3 months of experience as a class representative then. The second opportunity given to me was in the month of September, when I got an opportunity from Professor Elora and Professor Vijay to lead and organize UBS Model United Nations 2021, which is something I really look up to. That is something that has shaped my personality for past 8 years, because I practice MUNs since 2018, and it's going to be 9 years if I still continue to practice it. So I used all my management ideas that I had from the past. Being a person who is always passionate about event management, I had to make sure that the team members that I'm appointing as my undersecretary generals or the core committee members have a particular expertise in the field. I'm looking forward for the job. And that's where my entire journey started. And there were just 12 days to complete the target. So in that very due process, We used all our management tools, let it be marketing, let it be logistics, let it be finance, to make sure that the entire conference proceeding goes very smooth and simple. And guess what? We had the highest registrations. We had 126 delegates, 3 committees, and it was a great success. And that is a success story. The entire universal opportunity I'm having right now has been appointed as for all innovations and shaping the institute, but also gives platform for the institute to be better than it was before. We are currently working on few projects, and no spoilers to be given right now. We are going to help the institution in becoming the better ones, so that the future learners who are coming down in UBS have an ease of access to everything.
Excellent.
I'm
Great to
really grateful to the institution.
Great. Thanks. So, want to take a leaf out of that, Chansey. So, what are the skills that you actually extracted from these experiences?
Well, one of the major skills that I would say was time management. Being when you come out of your school, you come out of your homes, you're very in your comfort zone. So here, when you are part of various committees, you have to work on your academics. You have so many things to do. So time management is something that I learned as a leader, because I cannot say, I cannot attend to this. I have to, because I'm, obliged to do that. And running 2 committees together, having, been being at the having my exams, my academics, my placement process. So all of that together, I think time management was one thing that I learned, and that really helped me during my MBA, where I had to do simultaneously everything that I was doing. Another is the decision making skills. I think for a leader, it is very important to take the right decisions, to consider all the factors, consider all the aspects, but you need to, you need to do what's right for the company, and not just one person, not just, one factor to be taken into consideration. So time management, decision making, your multitasking, these are some of my managerial skills that I could enhance, being in the leadership positions that I was put into. Besides that, it's not just, soft skills or management skills that you get. You are actually working, you're actually applying your academics into practice. So that also helped me, enhance my okay, so I am doing my MBA in finance. So I was making financial statements for Enactus. I was doing budgeting for the project. So, all of that really added up. And I could actually talk about that in my interviews. I was actually able to crack one. So that's there. So, all of these things.
Don't be shy. Which company was that?
That was Deloitte.
Wow. The Big Four. Excellent.
Yes. So, all of these skills, they really added value to, what I am today, a better version of myself that I was 4 years back when I entered UPS. So that's my take on that.
Super. And Sanat, your skills that you extracted from these leadership experiential learning opportunities? Sanat, you're on mute.
Definitely, sir. I would love to share about all of them. So when I became the class representative, as I shared it before, I had to make sure that when I'm there as a leader, I'm also there as a learner. So I need to ensure that I'm dividing my time in such a way that I look up to the problems that are coming from the cohort and communicate it with all the management people. And at the same point of time, I also concentrate on my academics, because the academics and extracurricular activities have to go hand in hand. So that was one take, and I completely second to what Chansey said, that time management is something that is really important for any aspiring leader or a management for tomorrow. I also imbibe another important skill that every leader at this very current point of time should have is networking. I believe I'm a person who can network well and bond with people well, because in future you need networks for anything you go forward for. If you're a person who knows marketing but has no contacts with operations, you need to have networks with people who can help you out with all operational activities. If in future you need a person who has to settle all your financial statements, who is a chartered accountant, I can use that network in future for my business. That's how the networking skills help me out in the entire process. The skills of hiring people and having my prerequisite knowledge about HR was something that has benefited me a lot when it comes to event management, because I take a lot of important decisions of hiring people who are needed to organize any event. And that is done by scanning their skills and matching with the positions that are required for any event I need to host. I'm currently working on an online event that will be held in the month end, and that's for a school. So I have a team of 58 who is working phenomenally well right now, even though we are in a pandemic situation, so that the online experience is not less than an offline one. So I hope we can bring out a good news anytime very soon on that. And right now, being the president of the Innovation Club, the major reason why I'm appointed as the president of the Innovation Club is because the management believes that I'm a person who can innovate new things. I can do things differently, and that is something a CEO also should have. Successful people are the one who know to find out ways to do things in a very uncommon way, and that is something I believe every leader for tomorrow should have. So particularly, I have these skills that can help me out to be a better leader for tomorrow. And last but not the least, maintaining relationships personally and professionally. As Chansey clearly said, that being a CEO at ELC, she had to hire and fire her friends. So if the people are mature enough to understand the personal and professional relationships, life is sorted. So you need to be mentally and emotionally strong as well to understand that if I'm firing someone for a reason, there is a reason. So you need personal relationships for that. And I'm trying decisions like this. I never lag behind, and I do not take any impulsive decision.
Awesome. Great to hear. You made my job very, very easy. Proud of both of you. I'm supposed to be giving the gun. You guys are living the gun. So that's a great feeling. Now a shout out to anybody out there in the audience who would like to ask any questions of Chansey, Sanat, or myself, or about Universal Business School. If you can put it in your chat window on YouTube, we'd be happy to take your questions. So whilst those questions keep coming, I'd like to just say one of the most important thing is for us to understand the whole world is changing around us, right? So we need to understand how the job market is changing and how do we position you. So our board of 60 CEOs become a huge asset for us because they know the pulse of the industry. They're leading top multinationals like JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank, Barclays, GE, Novartis. I can keep going on, right? So companies used to hire for skills, knowledge, and attitude. Now, knowledge, everybody's parked aside. The focus is on skills, and the focus is going to be on attitude. And through these experiential learning projects, the andragogy that we follow, not the pedagogy, the andragogy is that the learner is to be self-directed. You are as important to the class as the professor. The class cannot happen if you do not bring your personal experiences into the class. You are no longer a person who's grade oriented. You are goal oriented. You want to achieve, right? You are very practical. So you got to bring that, practice, and you want to actually implement. It's like I always say, if you're riding a bicycle, right? You will never forget how to ride a bicycle, even if 10 years you've not ridden. That's the learning, right? It's gone into your bloodstream. So the more you do application-oriented, action-oriented, experiential-oriented learning, it goes into your bloodstream. And then what do you come out with, right? Our students, future executives, continuously learn to grow their capabilities and tackle novel problems, right? That's what the world wants. You're going to develop analytical and critical thinking skills. And one of the most important things companies want today is you being a lifelong learner, because the industry, the dynamics of the industry is going to change every 5 years, sometimes every 3 years. So what you've learned is going to become obsolete. So if you've got a learning mindset, you're going to keep acquiring these new skills, new attitudes, and be able to solve the most complex problems, not only of business, but of society. What I also think is that it's very important to think like a business person while setting goals, while having the entrepreneurial hat. So you're going to be flexing them in both sides, right? In terms of understanding. As both mentioned, managing conflicts, guys, collaborating and managing conflicts and managing diverse teams. I had the opportunity to manage teams in 136 countries. I only worked in 55 countries. I didn't meet all my team members. How do you do that in an online world? We are in an online world. You got to have full ownership of the P&L. You got to be accountable, right? This is what industry wants. You got to, both of them mentioned, especially Sanat talked about creative thinking, innovation skills, right? This is why you want to be able to experiment more, fail, learn fast, and if there is an upside, you get that upside while you're on campus, right? That's the fun. And in COVID, it's clear if you're not agile, you're not adaptable in the current environment, you're not going to survive, right? You'll be fossilized. So it's about embracing change. In fact, saying, bring it on, right? So we want you to get that feel and would love to hear if there are any questions or anybody, please fill me in. I can keep going on. What
So
entrance?
we do have questions.
Okay, so I can see them, so I'll take them. What exam score are considered for admissions of UBS? Great. So essentially what we at UBS do is we are looking for all-rounders, right? We are looking for people who are 360 degrees because that's what a CEO has to do, right? CEO is not just cranking it, the mathematics side of it. He's got to make sure that he's looking at the emotional side of it. So we have 5 criteria. Academics, 20% weightage. Entrance exam, we take CAT, we take GMAT, we take CMAT, we take NMAT. Leadership, if you have leadership experiences like both Chansey and Sanat had, or you have work experience, right? If you work in in an entrepreneurial setup or your own firm or in an industry setup, you get 20% there. Extracurricular activities, very, very important, right? If you've played for national levels, or if you're a good swimmer, or if you've dance, music, drama, because CEOs have to find themselves at home in all environments. So the more you are 360 holistic, we are keen to look at you. And finally, communication. So academics, entrance exam, leadership or work experience, extracurricular, communication, each has a 20% weightage, right? And I'd like to say this, reason I got selected by SP Jain Institute of Management and Research is only because of these 5. If it was only one, I would have never made it to SPJMR. I'm grateful to them. I learned from them that they were looking at me 360 degrees and gave me an opportunity to change my life. So that's, I hope I've answered that. We're looking at all scores. What is the USP of UBS? I'll ask one Chansey and one Sanat. One USP. Go ahead.
Well, for me, you are learning from a CEO how to be in his position. That is something very different, very new. Another thing is the experiential learning model that UBS provides. You will not find it anywhere. You will not find it anywhere. Trust me when I say that.
Great. Sanat,
don't repeat. I would definitely agree to what Chansey said. Experiential learning is definitely one of the big shots. When it comes to another set of USP is that there are a lot of clubs, there are a lot of committees. And as the institution itself says, it's a school of CEOs. It gives you immense number of opportunities to be in a club. And by the time you perform well, you get an opportunity to also lead there. So club activities are definitely one of them. Another USP that I would like to share is the CXO Head Start program. Since it's endorsed by the 60 CEOs, and by the time in future, I believe it will be endorsed by more, the CEOs also come down to the campus, they connect with the learners and share their experiences, which is another form of learning for us. We learn from their experiences and try to be better than ever before. So these are 2 USPs I believe are very constructive for UBS Mumbai.
Awesome. So what kind of placements? So I'll just give you a very broad brush. It's the consulting world. It's the BFSI world, banking and financial services. We have marketing is very strong as well. Analytics is now a growing area. So we up on analytics in a big way. In fact, we have a STEM infused MBA. So you will learn 5 critical subjects, which are going to give you the base and the learning of machine learning, artificial intelligence, business analytics, and thereof. So these are the areas. Operations, logistics is a huge area, logistics and supply chain. And of course, HR is always there. So these are the areas that we are getting. Companies, long list, 245. I will take an hour just talking about each company, so I'm going to skip that. Roles range from management trainee all the way up to middle management, because we get for our programs, our global MBA program, we get experienced students with 2 years work experience coming in there. So it's a range there as well. Fees for the UBS PGDM, again, there are multiple programs. So very quickly, I'm not going to go through each of the fees. For the postgraduate diploma, single specialization, it's 8.5 lakh. For the dual specialization, it's 9. And for the Cardiff program, it's 11 lakhs for 2 years. And for the global MBA, also it's similar. We also have programs and partnerships with Italy, France, and Europe and US. And there you would pay additional fees depending on the university. These are all 100-year-old plus universities where you study 1 year here and 1 year in the US. Online or offline classes, they were offline forever. Just yesterday afternoon, we made it online because of the Maharashtra government, but we'll flip very, very soon. In fact, we had a board decision just before this call, and we are hoping that the wave is going to last for maximum 2 more weeks. We should be able to get back immediately back to offline and hopefully stay that way. Are all I'll let Sanat and Chansey ask, are all profs like me? Actually, they're smarter than me, some of them, many of them. Talk about Elora, talk about Brigadier, talk about Sriram, all the former CXOs, CEOs we have.
Definitely so. There's no doubt that there's everyone in this very institution as the model leaders as amazing as Tarun. So we have had the opportunity to interact and learn from almost all of them. And by the time we also turn into different terms, we'll get to learn from few more. They're as amazing as Sir is. The way of teaching, the use of corporate examples are actually spot on. And the way they also design questions in examination is they don't just judge you on the basis of the concepts they teach. They also look forward for implementing them in the form of examples. So you just don't study the concepts, you learn the case studies, you learn from the past corporate examples, and that's how they make you corporate ready. So there are no doubts when we talk about the faculty here at UPS, they are as amazing as our beloved chairman.
Chansey, you want to add anything on the faculty? You need to go. Yeah.
Well, I believe that Sanat covered all of what we've had, but of course, the faculty here is amazing. Their intellect, the way they communicate, it's the experience that they bring in, the kind of frameworks that they try to imbibe in the curriculum, where we could actually not just bookish learn, but actually learn. So you can apply. So all of that is really awesome. And yeah.
I'd like you to answer that. A day in the life of an MBA student, both of you. Well, it should be similar or different, I don't know, but it'll be interesting to hear that.
Well, I would say every day is a little more exciting than the last day that we had. And, this follows for the following days. Giving that aside, so, you'll have classes from you'll have classes from 10 a.m. in the morning to, 9:45 to be very precise, from the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening. Then for MBAs, might get a little hectic during your, exams or maybe your assignments, where teachers, they actually put in effort. The professors put in a lot of efforts. They, extend hours, lecture hours for extra lectures, any of the other things that are there. Besides that, you have club activities that will go on irrespective of the academics. So you have to manage both, because if you want to you want to learn and you want to enjoy, you have to do it together. You cannot just learn, or you cannot just enjoy. So as a student, you need, as as a the person who's there at a position needs to be an all-rounder. You are prepared to be an all-rounder, where you have classes till 8 sometimes, and then you have an event that's starting at 9, and then you're back to your rooms by 12. So all of that in a day, I think it's pretty much a box of excitement, and you are looking forward to waking up to another day and what it holds.
Sanat, your
I
take
would just
on.
like to continue with what Chansey said. She covered up most of the things. The concept of MBA itself is keeping yourself at toes and being prepared for the unplanned things. Though we have a scheduled timetable, you are expected to start your lectures by 9:45 and you get it done by 6. That's just for the academics. You have club activities once in each week where all the club members sit and talk and decide if they want to go forward with an event or participate in an event. We have international economic review that is also hosted every week so that we have insights about the economic events all over the world. We have assemblies by the program director where they share their experiences, they share the feedback so that the learners are always updated with what are the expectations of the module leader. We also have a well-equipped sports activities in the institution. We also have a gym. So you're not just here to be a learner. You should also shape yourself well with physique. So I usually go to the gym. I try to participate in different sports so that I am not just mentally, but also physically fit. So that's how my day goes on. And by the time it's evening, I go and hang out with my friends. We meet, we sit, we laugh, we have a lot of fun. And we definitely have assignments. We have to complete it on time because they're graded. So all of it is fun. It keeps you on the toe and you're always ready for a move.
Awesome. Would one of you like to talk about just very quickly about the non-stop 48-hour case players, sir?
Surely, sir. Since I was the one who was working on the Case Blazer this year as a part of the UBS Innovation Club, Case Blazer was definitely one of the best experiential learning toolkit any learner can have. You have 9 case studies, you have 3 ways to present it, and you have 48 continuous hours of learning it. The traditional concept was to have 2 members in each team, but they broadened it by making it a team of 4. And the entire intention was to get people out of the cohort. There shouldn't be just people from the same program, but also from different programs, because you never know. There would be a case study that would be related to finance, but you all are a marketing person. So you need a person from finance to be also there for a case study. In the next case study, probably it would be about HR. You don't know about HR. You need a person from HR. So we had teams combined in that way. We had people from different programs. They all sat together. 9 case studies were given after each and every session. There were moderations done. We had 3 types of case studies. One was projecting the entire case summary in the form of infographics. We had technical session on making how infographics work by the use of Canva. We had a case exam in which people had to use their innovation in making the entire case summary. And lastly, we had the traditional presentations in the form of PPT. And let me tell you one thing, this was the largest case blazer ever in the history of UBS, where we had more than 123 learners participating. Otherwise, you'll just find 40 to 50 learners participating, but this was a grand hit. And it wouldn't have been possible without every team member putting in constant efforts by sitting 9 in the morning and ending the day at 3 at the morning. You just get 4 hours to sleep, and the next day you wake up again with a case study in your hands. It was amazing.
Great. Thanks for that. So I have the admission question. I'm going to skip that. I'll come to that right at the end. How does a day in my life? Okay, it's I'm a little late to the game because and I'll link it to the energy, which is fantastic. Thank you. So I have a little bit of an exercise routine every morning. So I either do 250 push-ups to 275 push-ups every morning, or I do a plank up to 25 minutes, depending on my mood, while listening to some meditational, some nice quiet music. So that I do alternate days. I'm missing my pull-up bars, but that's the thing. So I do that. I like to spend my time on myself. And then it's clear-cut reviews throughout the day with my academic team, with my various teams. We've got 20 teams, whether it's the corporate relations team, the management development programs team, the executive MBA team, and so on, the admissions team, and the finance teams, the HR team. So, it's all about reviewing, making sure that every team. So I'll be honest with you, I am not an academician. Okay, I'm a professional who's worked all my life, 25 years in the corporate world in multinationals. I worked for 3 multinationals all my life. I've now come into academics. All my learnings from the global world, I'm bringing it in, and that's the way it works. So it's like a professional setup. It's an open door policy, so anybody from my team can come and meet me at any point of time, and that's the way we enjoy it. Of course, with COVID, we had a few little bit of restrictions, but otherwise, normal days, that's the way. And so I sign off not before 8:30 every evening. Come back to play with my kids, put them to sleep. And that's my day, and I love to party. So one of the things, if you know about UBS, is we work hard, but we party hardest. Okay, we love to party, and that's some of the things. And I can out party many of you guys. There. Okay, so that covers my question. How does experiential learning lead to personal development? They've talked about it. So all these events, whether it's a case plays, or whether it's a, running a corporation, whether it's running a club, any of these and multiple, whether it's running these projects, which are these ESG, environment, social governance projects, or UN Sustainable Development Goal projects, all of these make you apply yourself, right? Rather than reading a book. Did you learn to ride a bicycle by reading a book? No, you got onto the bicycle. Similarly, if you have to learn management, you've got to do it, right? If you have to negotiate, you can't read negotiation from a book. You have to negotiate. So that's what experiential learning is. It makes you do the skills, and then it imbibes you so that the skills become a second nature to you and flow through you, right? So tomorrow, you don't have to bother opening a book. It's with you. So that's how experiential learning, this thing, we have 8 more minutes. We are on a deadline. So I'm going to hope that we can, okay, we have no relationship with UBS Chandigarh. We are Universal Business School, Mumbai. That's University Business School, different. That's Punjab University. We are AICT approved, AIU approved, ND accredited. So we have nothing. We are a global business school in India with partnerships with several global universities. Does UBS hire actually? No, UBS doesn't hire, but the companies who come in to hire from us. We don't hire. We're not in the insurance actuarial business. So that's just to clarify. So if there are no more questions, I'd like to spend a few minutes, getting, insight from Sanat. What would be your tip to the learners, right? Make it short, snappy, and then I'll tell them a little bit about the deadlines and the admission process.
Absolutely, sir. A tip from my end would be you need to be versatile. You need to be on the move every single time. So when you plan to do MBA, let it be UBS or let it be any B school, you need to make sure that you have the knack of being on the move. You never feel tired or you never feel bored. You have a task, you need to do it. And that's what any B school, and especially here at UBS, will teach you throughout. So if you're coming down here, be sure that you're not taking any breaks. You are there definitely on the move and you'll have a lot of fun. Trust me on this part. I'm right now in my first year and I'm enjoying the process throughout.
Awesome. Tip from you, Chansi.
Well, I would just, tell them, be yourself, believe in yourself, know what you want to do, and be here. That will be the best thing, best decision maybe that you'll take. be resilient, be, as Sanat said, be versatile. You need to be, adaptive enough to the job market, to the trends, to not limit yourself. Be open, to new opportunities, to new things, to new beginnings, and everything will eventually fall into place for you.
Awesome. Great tips from my rock stars. Yes, you can apply for NMAT. Absolutely. Go ahead. So we've got a few minutes left. And if any more question comes, I'll take it. But, I'll just say that we want to attract the best talented all-rounders to Universal Business School. You heard it from Tansi, you heard it from Sanat, you heard it from me. All-rounders, right? If you're smart, you have an entrepreneurial mindset, you're a dreamer, you want to be a leader, and you are a doer, right? Not a procrastinator. The CEOs at UBS would love to have your application. So you can click on the link below. It's available, or go to our website and click on apply now. And we have a screening process. After that, you go for a boardroom interview, which is itself a unique experience, and I'm sure you'll enjoy that. So that's just how do you go through. Quick tip from my side is, get into UBS. You need to make sure you have an awesome, amazing pitch. Pitches win matches, right? You've heard that in the world of cricket. Same holds true for any interview of your life, right? So you will go through a boardroom interview, then you'll go through a personal interview, which one of our faculty or global team members will be taking. Have an awesome, amazing pitch. In that first 2 minutes, what can you say about yourself? Because most interviews start by, tell me something about yourself, right? So what can you say in 2 minutes, which will be wow, awesome, amazing, so cool that it just gets the interest, right? So show your enthusiasm, let the passion flow through you. We're looking for passionate, enthusiastic dreamers who want to change the world, right? So that's just from my side, a tip which I would love to have you come here. A truly resilient candidate in my mind would never, take refuge in denial. So please stop denying. Rush out to grab the future. It's there for you, right? Change yourself before you need to, or where the world makes you change, right? And continue to reevaluate today applies for all, right? Capture the largest share of your opportunities, right? Whatever opportunity is coming, take it. Don't let that go. Never experience an unexpected shock, which means you're not prepared, right? If you prepare yourself, and this is what we say, the best guys are the guys who are always prepared for any eventuality. Grow faster, right? Keep growing, have that growth mindset, and this will make you an amazing individual, right? You will shine in industry, you will shine in the marketplace, and people will run after you. And I'm telling you from experience, when I went to New York, I was given a penthouse apartment in New York's Times Square. I didn't even imagine only CEOs had penthouses, right? And this is me at 32 years with a penthouse. Guess who was my neighbor? It was all Hollywood, Bollywood stars. And my wife got I'm going to tell you a quick story. My wife got, excited. She said, I want to meet Tom Cruise. And literally, I got her to meet Tom Cruise for her 30th birthday, right? That's the power of, if you do what we are talking about, and if you're going to imbibe these, the world will throw. And then they said, where do you want to go? I said, I want to go to Asia. Where in Asia? And my boss, Mark Robson, said, do you want to go to Tokyo? I said, no, Tokyo is, culture, language might be difficult. So he said, we want to go to Australia, Sydney? I said, no, because these are big financial centers. I said, no, Sydney's, Australians are racist, so I'm going to avoid that. So he said, Singapore then. I said, no, Singapore is Disneyland with a death penalty. So he said, okay, then where? I said, Hong Kong, because I had to do a lot of business with the Chinese government. And I thought Hong Kong was, a good mix of Singapore in terms of living, but not as regimented. And then it gets better, guys. And we have 1 minute. It gets even better. When I came to India, my first boss had a Lexus car. And this is a 1 crore car. And I was like, I want to sit on this 1 crore car just to feel what a my bum feels on a 1 crore, right? Just joking. And when I became the youngest chairman and managing director of Thomson Reuters, I was given a Lexus SUV. Now, what I'm trying to say, friends, that the world is there for your taking. You just put in those things which I just told you, what Sanat is doing, what Chansey is doing, and all of this is going to come to you. I wish you all the very best. I know there will be some questions I might not have answered. Feel free to write back to us. Wish you all the very best. And thank you, Sanat. Thank you, Chansey. You guys have been amazing. We are very proud of you. Your last goodbyes to this wonderful team.
Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity. It was indeed a pleasure to communicate with you and Chansey, and special thanks to Inside IM for the opportunity. I hope everyone does well, and we look forward to seeing you all at UBS.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. It was lovely, interacting with the panel, and I hope we've answered most of your questions. We've given you clarity on, what it's like to be in UBS, and we really look forward to the new intake that would be coming in.
Thank you. Thanks a ton. Thank you, Inside IM. Cheers. Bye-bye.